Hello, in this video we will be exploring the equation of a circle. The general form is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared, where hk is the center and the radius is r. Start by choosing number 1, New Document, and then selecting number 2, Add Graphs. We will use the equation of a circle template on the TI-Nspire. Press Menu, choose number 3, Graph Entry Edit, choose number 3, Equation Templates, and then number 3 again for Circle. Let's choose number 1, Center Form, and we recognize that equation. We now have the template waiting for h, k, and r. You can enter in your values: 0, tab, 0, tab, 1. This will give us a circle centered at the origin with a radius of 1. Press Enter, and you now see your circle centered at the origin with a radius of 1. Let's explore by changing our equation. Press the Tab key, up arrow once to get back to equation 1, and let's now change our h value to 2. Let's change our k value to 3, and let's make our radius now 2. When we press Enter, we now have a circle centered at 2, 3 with a radius of 2. You can grab and move your label so that it is out of the way. A shortcut to change your equation is to just double-click on your label, and that will open it up in equation 1. Let's move the center of the circle into quadrant 2. We would need to put in negative in front of our value for h, so I'll put in -2. Subtracting a negative means to add the positive. I'll keep it at y minus 3 and the radius of 2. When I press Enter, we now have a circle centered at -2, +3 with a radius of 2. Let's now move on to drawing a circle. Let's go Home, select number 1, New Document, and we will not save changes to our current document. Let's choose number 2, Add Graphs. Let's go to Menu, choose number 8 for Geometry, choose number 2 for Shapes, and then choose number 1 for Circle. Once you have the tool selected, hover the icon in the upper left-hand corner. Click the center location or press open parentheses followed by the coordinates, then click to define the radius or enter the radius. Shift constrains the radius to integer increments. Let's try both of these out. If I wanted a circle centered at 1, 1, I'd click to define my center, and then as I move my cursor away, I can define the radius. I have just put a circle centered at 1, 1 with a radius of 3. Let's label our coordinates and equations. Press Menu, choose number 1, Actions, choose number 8, Coordinates and Equations. We can now hover the circumference of the circle, click once, and then position where we want that equation to stay. Click again. Hover point A, click once, position it, click again. Click point B, position it where you want it. Press Escape to turn off your Coordinates and Equations tool. You can now explore the equation of a circle by moving to the center, point A, grabbing it, and moving, and notice the changes in the equation. The equation of a circle is made up by its center and its radius. Point B is a point on the circle. If we grab and move that away from the center, notice how the radius value changes. Let's now explore the other way to draw a circle. Let's go home, choose number 1, New Document. We will not save our changes. Choose number 2, Add Graphs. We'll go to Menu, choose number 8 for Geometry, choose number 2 for Shapes, and select number 1 for Circle. The alternative method is to start by pressing the open parentheses, followed by the coordinates, and then enter in the radius. So if I press the open parentheses, I can put in 2, enter, -1, enter, and then as I move my cursor, I could manually create the radius, or I could just put in the number 2 and press enter. I have created a circle centered at 2, -1 with a radius of 2. I'm curious about the equation of this circle, so I'll go to Menu, select number 1, Actions, select number 8, Coordinates and Equations. If I hover the circumference of the circle and click once, I now have the equation of that circle. I can press enter to position it, and then I can do the same for the center. Click once and position the center. Again, circle centered at 2, -1 with a radius of 2. Press Escape to turn off the Coordinates and Equation tool. The 2 that's on the screen can be double-clicked and can be changed to another value. When I change that value to 3, notice that that is my radius. Double-clicking, changing that value allows us to edit our drawn circle. Let's move on to relation graphing. Press the Home button, choose number 1 for New. When it asks, do we want to save changes, say No, and select number 2, Add Graphs. To quickly access relations graphing, press your Delete button to delete the equal sign. Option 6 on that menu is Relation. You can now type in your equation of the circle. Open parentheses, x plus 3, close parentheses, squared, plus, open parentheses, y minus 4, close parentheses, squared, equals 4. Before you press enter, where will this circle be centered and what will be the radius? If you said the circle would be centered at -3, +4, and have a radius of 2, you would be correct. To edit this circle, you could press the Tab key once, press the up arrow once, and make changes to relationship 1, or press Escape. You could use your cursor to change the radius and the center by grabbing and moving. And in real time, your equation will change. The final method in this video will be using a slider in the relations graphing. Let's go home, choose number 1. We will not save changes, and then choose number 2, Add Graphs. Delete the equal sign, choose number 6, Relation, and now type in the center form for your circle, open parentheses, x minus h, close parentheses, squared, plus, open parentheses, the quantity y minus k, close parentheses, squared, equals r squared. When we press enter, we see that there is a slider created for r, h, and k. When we select OK, we now see a slider created for r, h, and k. Hover your radius slider and press Control Menu. Choose number 1, Settings. Here we can change our slider settings. Since this is a radius, the minimum value most likely will be 1, and the maximum value can be 5. Step size could be automatic, or you could say 1 if you wished. And as you tab on down, notice your options. The minimized option, when selected, allows you to have more space on your screen. When I select OK, notice how nice and neat the R slider is. Repeat that for H and K. Again, hover the slider and press Control Menu and select number 2, Settings. You can now click on the arrows to change your settings for H, K, and R. Grab and move your label so that it is out of the way. To have the values from R, H, and K appear in our equation, we can hover our graph of our circle, press Control Menu, select number 3, Attributes, down arrow to select Label Parameters, right arrow, and select Show Names. Press Enter, and now when you make your changes, you'll see it in your slider.